TruVue Podcast.
A bunch of different views.
Them boys keep it real, man. I really like listening to them, man. They funny. Yeah.
Son,
You know what I'm saying?
They really speak their truth. The hell was that?
you're. TruVue Podcast.
A bunch of different views.
Them boys keep it real, man. I really like listening to them, man. They funny. Yeah.
Son,
You know what I'm saying?
They really speak their truth. The hell was that?
you're.
What it do? What the business is? What's good? It's your boy Mel, and we back in the building again, bringing the barbershop to the box office, baby. TruVue Podcast. Let's get it going. Woo! Damn, I was looking for my crown. I think my kids have stole my goddamn crown. Shit.
Damn, how fitting. How fitting. I am X. Thank you guys for coming back and joining us again here on the TruVue Podcast. Alley-oop to my guy.
Which one?
It's whoever wants to, dunk the ball.
Yo. What's poppin', people? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Zoe. Man, y'all chopped in with the guys. Y'all know where we at. TruVue Podcast.
Yes, it is TruVue Podcast. And once again, thanks again for tuning in. It's grown man MJ. We got another guest with us today. Let them know what it is, Goldie.
It's Young Goldie, a.k.a. T-Walk, a.k.a. Non-Bula Roy. And we in here. And we came to talk about something very specific, something very important. And we ain't talking about Kanye, unlike you other motherfuckers.
God damn.
Oh, wow. That was unnecessary. But we're not here for that.
No, sir.
We're here talking about other backstabbing matters.
No, yes, sir.
Like things that like the Iron Throne. Like the Iron Throne.
Like the Io throne.
The Iron Throne.
Well, to make it official, we are talking about, we're here for the wrap up of House of the Dragon Game of Thrones. If y'all ain't checked out any of the other episodes that we did on this, y'all make sure y'all go check them out before y'all do this one, because this one is full of all of the spoilers, and we just gonna deep dive into the conversation and just see how House of the Dragon did, comparing it to the Game of Thrones. What is the House of Dragon, if you haven't heard? An internal succession war within House Targaryen at the height of its power, 172 years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen.
Also a prequel, obviously.
Yeah, it's the prequel. Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
So, let's just start off. How do we feel this weighed against Game of Thrones, the original?
And who should we start with?
Like, I don't know if you want to look at Wade, but I think it was very complimentary to the Game of Thrones seasons, the whole thing, because a lot of the things that were mentioned in Game of Thrones you can find in this House of Dragons, but it's also good enough so that if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, you can still enjoy House of Dragons and follow along. So I think it did good.
That's what's up. No, I'm in the same boat. I really feel that they, with the ending of Game of Thrones, which I don't know if we collectively agree, but it fucking sucked. It kind of was a letdown. So
the
it
seasons that should not be named.
Yeah, I was happy to see this and was hoping that they was like, oh shit, let me get that back. Let me run it back. It's kind of like how they did with maybe the Batmans or something. Like, you know what? Let me throw this Dark Knight out here. Let's get this Batman back, please, with DC, or how they're trying to do with Fantastic Four with Marvel. Because I mean, they dropped a dud. They dropped a dud on us, or as I always like to say, they lost us with that ending, because that was fucked up. And I was like, really?
It was very rushed.
So with this, they bringing it back. They had that intensity. They had the building of the story. You had the anticipation, and I feel like they didn't let us down with
You don't think so?
on the season.
On the season finale, you don't think you didn't feel let down?
Say it again.
You didn't feel let down on the season finale?
I didn't. I didn't. I was expecting the full house or the Dance of the Dragons, but they set it up. They set it up really well, and I don't know. I feel like I'm anticipating that second.
I'm gonna say this and land my plane here.
Oh,
I don't know. I might be with hyphen that as far as the House of Dragons being kind of a letdown. To me, it was a lot of more of the same. And originally going into it, I think a lot of people had the anticipation of getting a lot more of the dragons involved in the storyline.
mm.
They did 10 episodes on this first season, and through I would say a good 7 of these episodes, maybe even 8, they're doing nothing more but joyriding on the dragons. And you might see the dragon, do a roar on an episode or fly over on an episode, but for the most part, you didn't really get that part of the story until the very end, and that's when you start to see the use of the dragons for power and everything else. To me, the storyline of House of the Dragons is very similar to Game of Thrones, but it's done on a smaller scale, which makes it less interesting and more soap opera-ish, in my opinion. And it doesn't necessarily work as well as the complexity of the Game of Thrones does. To me, this series doesn't really stand if you don't got the dragons on it.
Well, I don't know because like I think it would stand. Okay, so like House of Dragons. Let me clear this something up right here. So House of Dragons is a good series, but I was let down with the season finale, based on all the points that Mike just said. All the points with the use of the dragons. I felt like I was teased. I felt like they treated it just like another episode, and now we have to wait another 2 years. I still have post-traumatic stress syndrome from waiting those years for the last season of Game of Thrones, and it was a letdown. You know what I'm saying? So now I have to wait 2 years to see they're not even going to start with the Dance of the Dragons. So this is what I'm saying. Like, do you think that we falter because we seen Game of Thrones and we already know what the outcome is going to be?
No, it's not even that. It's not even that hyphen. It's not even that we've seen Game of Thrones already. It's that we went through all of these multiple jumps in this series at the same time. You see what I'm saying?
But I think they did a good job with those jumps.
The jump, no,
The
jumps weren't necessarily the issue. I'm saying you got all of these jumps and the story progresses, but you don't have the inclusion of the dragons involved with it. That's the problem I'm having with it, is what I'm saying. The jumps definitely help push the story along and tell the story to get it to that point of the dance, but involvement with the dragons up to that point should have been also included, because if it's not, then it's just another episode of Game of Thrones, so to speak.
Yeah, I think they could have did a little bit more inclusion with the dragons and showing that progression with the dragon, with them having to speak to them in Valerian, because it like all of a sudden Damon the fucking dragon whisperer and shit. This nigga goes in singing this song to this untamed dragon that has no rider and shit, and they make eye contact. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I see what you're saying, Mike. Like, I would want to know like more about that connection, with the dragon, and then the 10-year jump with Aegon and their dragons and all that shit. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I do want to point out, they chose the seahorse for the niggas, dog. Ain't nobody gonna see a seahorse. Ain't nobody gonna use no damn seahorse.
Sea snake.
No, they used the seahorse on that nigga
Sea
chest.
snake.
We ain't gonna be by the water. Is that what you're saying?
Niggas can swim.
Ain't no
Niggas be swimming.
Rescue,
niggas on the islands and shit. You niggas swim, bro. We gotta kill that narrative. Niggas swim and niggas fuck with wild animals.
A seahorse, nigga.
Oh man.
Sea snake.
I got a couple things to say. They ended it perfectly. One, they ended it perfectly. If you know the story, they ended it perfectly. I saw it episode when I seen the titles of 9 and 10. I knew where they was going.
No, Goldie. I think you're missing what we arguing. I don't think the writing and the storytelling was bad. I'm just saying they should have included them dragons more in this series for this to be better.
There's no need to include the dragons yet. Oh, the
All
dragons
right.
they're coming, and they coming fast.
Yeah, but we
They're
gotta
coming
wait.
And they're coming fast.
We gotta
Right
wait
now
for
we
the
gotta
years.
wait.
That Drogon scene with actually that's no accident. They're coming fast with the dragons. That's not gonna be anything. Once we get to season 2, that'll be full fledged. That'll be full fledged. Outside of
so you don't feel they should have included more of that in season 1?
No, not at all.
We should have seen Rhaenyra snap the fuck out, bro.
No,
we should have got a little taste of that.
And you will. And you will.
We should have got we should have got a taste of it.
Why? I'm gonna tell you why, Goldie. I'm gonna tell you why. Because everybody ain't drank the Kool-Aid of this bullshit, dog. Everybody not hyped up the same way that if you follow this shit, like the people who watching this shit on YouTube after the episodes go off, everybody not into it like that. So if you pulling in a new audience, you got to bring something else for a bang, bro. And if you play hold on. If you playing the same old shit back that you played 8 seasons of with the Game of Thrones, then you not gonna grab new people.
And you not understanding. This is not Game of Thrones at all. This is not.
I understand that. I didn't told this nigga.
Well, they are playing games to get on the throne. So
of course they're playing Game of Thrones, but on a different level. This is not the same level of Game of Thrones that you're seeing.
It's not.
Listen, they ended the first season of Game of Thrones when Ned Stark getting his head cut off. Ain't no nigga getting his head cut off. It ain't happening.
But hold on.
And that was a dope way to end it.
And I'm gonna tell you why. And let me explain why. Let me explain why Game of Thrones works a little bit better than House of Dragons when you compare first season to first season.
Please do.
It's because the relevance to the time that you living in now. If you're gonna bring this fantasy dragon shit involved, that has no relevance to the time that I'm living in now. I should get more involvement in that time period. Game of Thrones has much more involvement with the judicial system and the way shit is played out in the world today. So that's why you can follow that and stay in that realm and not have the mystical of the White Walkers in season 1. You don't have the dragons very much involved in season 1, and the shit works because it's relevant.
And we also understand that, but we also understand that in the time period where it was going on in the story that was written, in the time period that it was written in, that shit will come. It's gonna come, and it's gonna come very soon. It's gonna come very soon. We touched the surface.
Now, Goldie, you've been a child before. Now, every time your parents were saying, "Give me a second, I'm gonna bring it in a minute," you'll get it at Christmas. Wait till your birthday. All that shit pissed you off, dog, and that's what we talking about right now.
But Christmas is coming.
Okay, so check it out. I got a question.
Christmas
so
is
how many seasons do we give House of Dragon?
4.
Four?
We're getting 4 total.
Until we what?
No, ain't no until. We're getting 4 total. So
no, he said ain't no
until the the Dance of the Dragons.
No, the Dance of the Dragons started the last episode.
Yes,
that's coming. Yeah, that's gonna start immediately. That's done. The Dance of the Dragons to me is not even the most important part. We ain't gonna get Blood Raven. We're not gonna get Blood Raven, and Blood Raven is the most important part of the Targaryen fall. So the Dance of the Dragons is one thing. That's just a great story to watch. That's a great story to watch. There's much more beyond the Dance of Dragons that we don't see because the Targaryens come back after the Dance of the Dragons will be over.
But Goldie, that's what we saying. That's exactly what we saying. It's so much more that goes past the Dance of the Dragons. They shouldn't have stalled us on that.
Why wouldn't it's the first season? Why wouldn't they?
Because it's already been done with 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. It's not
fucking
the first
owe us,
season,
bro.
No
They fucking owe us, man, for that bullshit.
There's no fucking way. First of all, we're gonna see so many more dragons that are gonna fight each other. There are so many.
What I'm saying essentially, Goldie, when Game of Thrones came out, it wasn't necessarily even the first of its kind, but it also at the same time was. So when we got those 8 seasons, we already have been indoctrinated. So coming to House of Dragons, we already have the indoctrination. You need to kick this shit up a notch. And don't be stalling and playing with the storyline.
And what did people say when we saw the first episode of House of the Dragon? The first few episodes, niggas was like, "Yo, this shit's moving a little bit faster than Game of Thrones." We've seen it already. It's already sped up. We're seeing a lot more sped up shit. There's a lot more that they could be telling a story about.
No, but we were seeing that speed up, and we were hoping to get a little bit of what we came for. You see what I'm saying? And now you sped it up to the point of right where it's about to click for everybody, and now you shut it out. Now we gotta wait till the next season to come around.
There's a point to that. There's a point to that because it's about to get cracking right now. As soon as the next season comes, it's down. It's up from there. As soon as the next season comes, it's up from there. So
that's a letdown, Goldie. That's a letdown to
that's a letdown.
I liked it.
That's an average fan.
That's a letdown to the fans that are not at the same level where you are with the story.
Bro, how is it?
I'm telling you from my side. I'm telling you from my side. You on a different side.
So like,
you on a different side of understanding.
I'm listening.
Do I like the way that they set up everything so you can see the betrayal and this, that, and the other, telling the story about how we lead up to the Dance of the Dragons? Yes.
The storyline is great. The storyline.
That's why I was looking forward to. I wanted more than what they gave me of an out of control dragon.
You didn't get the fighting and the action that you got in season 1.
Killing one of the irrelevant sons. You know what I'm saying? The most irrelevant son of them all.
It literally ended like, if y'all watched, y'all did, so I'm not gonna disrespect y'all. Y'all watched season 1 of Game of Thrones because y'all watched every season. They ended when Ned started getting his head cut off, and then they ended the first season once they showed the aftermath of that. That was nothing. Like y'all are gonna see. They ended with first of all, they ended with the perfect death. I thought that death should have came a little bit later. Me personally, from knowing the story, I didn't think that death should have came in the last season. But that death is the start of the war. That death is literally the start of the war. It is about to get crazy after this first season.
In 2 years.
Yes, that's fine. However much you want to say it. Because as long as you're going to wait on it. You're going to wait on it.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
that's what I'm saying, Goldie. It's people that might fold. It might be people that fold because they didn't get to the business.
But nobody's folding. Mike, I can tell you, nobody's folding. I've seen it already.
Folding or not?
No, fold.
Like, I'm not folding. I'm still going to watch it.
Of course.
But that's not going to make me stop.
That's what I'm telling you. Nobody's folding.
Hold on. Y'all talking over each other. Wait a minute.
This is a heated debate. They piss me off.
No one's folding.
I'm getting this nigga Goldie hot.
You still got to be able to hear it, though.
Hey, that's cool. Nobody's folding. I can guarantee you that.
Nobody. I'm gonna send a Raven.
No one.
Now, what you trying to say, Zoe? Because Zoe been trying to chime in since the beginning. Go ahead, man. Speak your piece.
Nah, I was gonna say, y'all hear me? I switched my.
Yeah. You sound far away, but you'll work it out in the mix.
We can hear you.
Yeah. So what I was trying to ask is, when you say forward.
No, he's saying that people ain't gonna ride with the that long idle wait. That's where it is like a high percentage of people that fall off because they end up either forgetting about it or they just lose interest because it takes so long.
And you know what the greatest thing about that is? I've seen so many people that I know, and black people. This is black people. I'm speaking on black people. I've seen so many black people really tap into this shit before the shit came on. I seen so many black people, inner city black people, type into this shit like, yo, we about to see what this shit is about. They watch this shit. They love this shit. Like, I love this shit. And then, so if we got to wait 2 years, first of all, they not giving us a full 2 years. I'll just let y'all know that right now. They trying to rival Marvel, DC, they're about to give us Jon Snow, his sequel to Game of Thrones. They're about to give us everything. So they're not about to let us sit and wait. That's not gonna happen.
Well, I actually thought that was smart of them to take that big gap because with the new people that watched it, I thought it might have been a time for them to be like, oh shit, let me check out and see what Game of Thrones is about.
But
So
you got
maybe they give you that time to recap on Game of Thrones or new people to actually catch up on Game of Thrones.
You got to look at how many people are watching, how many eyes are on it now. So there are so many people whose eyes are on it now that they like, damn. Like I said, HBO, I'm not even talking George R.R. Martin, who's the author. I'm talking HBO. HBO is like, we want to rival DC. We want to rival Marvel. So we want to continue to create this shit throughout the years.
HBO is DC though. They don't want to rival it. They want to.
No, they want to rival. They know this. They know what this is. They know what they're dealing with. They know how many people are tapped into this.
What I will say,
they know how many people are tapped into.
Is they okay? Somebody. I will say that the motherfucker did get his head cut off though in the first season, and it just happened to be a brother. So they did Stark his ass.
Hey, wait! But they brought Big Corliss back, which I knew he was coming back.
Oh yeah,
they brought Big Corliss back
and everything.
And yeah. Rainy's let her know what team she on. Team Black. Right there.
She got to ride.
Team Real Nigga.
Yeah.
She let her know.
Hey, do you remember her reasoning? Her reasoning for that?
What do you mean? Explain.
Like her reasoning for siding with Rhaenyra, because at first she wasn't claiming no sides. You noticed like how everybody was bowing down to her and everything. She was the only person not to bow, not to kneel. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to me, she was always claiming, from the story we know as well, but she was always gonna claim Team Rhaenyra. But I mean, also you have her granddaughters on that side. And then also on top of that, it's just once Corliss comes back, he decides, okay, she explains to him because Corliss is ready to get up out the game.
Yeah. My man said, let's go head out to the island with our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Right. Nigga almost died.
Corliss is ready to get up out the game, and she's like, nah, we here. And that's got something to do with the big story. Corliss alone has a big story. Corliss Velaryon has a big story. And that's why people in the beginning, I couldn't say it before, but that's why people in the beginning had such a problem with him being black. Because Corliss has a big story.
Well, yeah, the 9 voyages, yeah.
After all that's what's going on right now and what's going to transpire after, Corliss has a big story, period. And that's why they didn't like that. They like, people know Corliss is going to be there. They know that. They don't like
I hear what you're saying. So that's the people who is involved in the motherfucking cult shit like you, nigga. I ain't in the cult.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on.
What I'm saying is on this season, I just felt they soap operaed it too much, dog. And for me, it don't make me excited about the next season. I feel like I'm old the next season more so than excited about the next season.
Okay.
I do. Okay. But hold on. Wait. I do, just to kind of, give my spiel on it from what Mike is saying. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, you know what I'm saying? So my perspective on this season was a little different too. I liked it because I know the story, but it felt like a stage play at times, the way the episodes progressed and them correlating to each other. I don't know if that's as to the directive or what, but it just didn't give me the original vibe of Game of Thrones. And I know they're two totally different series, but I don't know, it just felt a bit different to me in that regard.
No, and I agree that it feels different, but I also, it's, again, you got to go back to season 1 of Game of Thrones. It was all this season was doing was setting up the next 4 seasons.
No, you 100% right, and I can accept that. I can accept that with the first season of Game of Thrones versus the first season of this. But in the first season of Game of Thrones, there was also a lot more thrill to it. I just didn't get thrill in this at all.
Bro, the first season was a lot
I
more.
labored through a lot of these episodes. I'm just keep it real. I labored through a few of these episodes just because it was nothing going on and it was really setting up for the next jump or setting up for the continuation into the next episode, so to speak.
Yeah, but that's my point. In the next 3 seasons that you're gonna get, it's gonna be a lot more of what you expect. But also, what I want to ask is, what did you get from the first season of Game of Thrones?
Okay, so the first season of Game of Thrones, right? It was a build up. Like Ned Stark was finding out, like for real, the rumors are true. These are not Robert Baratheon's kids. It's actually Jamie and Jamie and Assis. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Jamie's the daddy.
There's a
And
dickhead, and there's a dickhead, but keep going.
and then it goes all the way up through, and like he's about to find out. He gets locked up. There's a battle. There's a small little sword fight between him and Jamie.
He's about to find out, or he already knew?
No, he already knew, but he was about to let it be known.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You find out in season 1 of Game of Thrones and House of Dragons. Don't speak on nobody else's kids. Get your head cut off, nigga. That's what happened.
Real time.
No, but in Game of Thrones, the first season, like I say, the relevance to the modern times is a lot different in each of the seasons. So in that, you're kind of being shocked with all of that shit at the same time of accepting the story of what's going on. And then in Game of Thrones, you also have multifacet of houses and a lot more layers of characters that you're also being introduced to as well. That I think takes a little bit more depth in the writing and a little bit more appreciation in the experience overall.
Which comes back to Game of Thrones. The entire series that was written is written about Game of Thrones. The entire series is about Game of Thrones. It's about what's going on presently. So everything that you're getting in the past, you're getting in the past from the Maesters, from what the history books tell you. So House of the Dragon is
yeah.
It's not written off. Game of Thrones is written off of these are things that are happening, quote unquote, at that time. That's not the same thing. So you can't expect the same thing from something that's being written in real time at that time versus expecting something that is in the history books. House of the Dragon is based off the history books. And it comes from 3 different perspectives, and they're choosing what they want to do. Game of Thrones, between the first 5 seasons, is based off things that we know, and then we haven't got the wins of winter yet. So we haven't got the final book yet, or the final books. But in the House of the Dragon, we know what's gonna happen. Those who know. We know who's gonna die. We know when they're gonna die. We know how they're gonna die. That's why I say.
Do you think they'll do anything to kind of change from what happened in the books versus on the screen? Do you think they're gonna alter any of that? Because they did that in Game of Thrones.
They've already done it. I mean, when in the books, one of the main ministries is Aemon. In the books, it doesn't seem so much as an accident when Aemon kills Lucerys. It doesn't seem so much as an accident. And in the show, they make it seem like an accident. They make it seem like they were both like, "Hey,
Untamed Dragon."
He couldn't control his dragon.
Yeah, they don't.
It didn't seem like no accident to me.
No, but in the books, it's not like that. So in the books, it seems more that Aemon. In the books, Aemon basically was like he was in there. The things that they said were said in the show, so they said the right things in the show, and then basically the woman that he's betrothed to is like, "Yo, you the prince of the 7 kingdoms. You gonna let my father
never used this word before,
bro?" She says, "You gonna let my father tell you where you can and cannot spill blood. You're not a real prince." So she basically is trying him. and then he goes out and he's like, man, fuck this shit. I'm angry. I'm finna go see what's up with this nigga, and I'm finna go kill this nigga. That's what it seems like. And then so it seems like he kills him intentionally, but in the show they make it seem like it's an accident. So that's just a difference between the books and the show that we don't.
No, I hear what you're saying. That's real slight though. The person still passes. I'm saying in the Game of Thrones, they kill people who they weren't supposed to kill at certain times and shit like that. So that's why I was asking, like, do you think they'll change it on them basis?
Try and get that
shot.
That's my point. They're already changing it. I mean,
try to grab more like the people who know, like they still got to provide some kind of level of entertainment for the people who know.
But they're doing that perfectly in this show.
Okay.
Game of Thrones, where are they doing that?
Nigga, they did it mighty well to keep you entertained for 8 seasons and get you to watch this House of Dragons.
No,
so don't come in here with no slight, nigga.
I'm saying in Game of Thrones,
you felt some kind of way about
it. Because in Game of Thrones, we got to see it for 6 seasons of what was supposed to happen, and then we got nothing. We got extra. But they showed us the Red Wedding was supposed to happen. Joffrey dying. There was a lot of things that were supposed to happen in Game of Thrones that happened. But what do you in House of the Dragon? There are a lot of things we don't know is supposed to happen, or we don't know how these things happen.
Right.
You know, I know I could tell you when such and such. I could tell you such and such is gonna die, but I can't tell you how it leads up to it or how they exactly die.
That's they give you the specific situations, but no backstory. So the videos letting you, or the show itself is letting you get that backstory, whereas you wasn't getting that in the books, pretty much. So
we don't know how things are gonna happen, but we know the things. There are certain things in certain ways people are gonna die. We don't know how they're gonna die, or we don't know how it's supposed to happen. And that's the great thing about House of the Dragon is that we don't know. We don't know how things are gonna happen.
Hey, what's the name of the prince, the betrothed prince to Driftwood? What was his name?
You talking about
that was Luke, right?
Take care.
Yeah. What was his name?
Which one?
The one that got ate by the dragon.
That was Luke.
That's
right?
Luke Harris. That's Luke Harris.
All right, so that's Luke. So Luke dies I'm gonna say this. Listen to this. He dies at the end of season 1 of House of Dragons. Ned Stark gets his head chopped off at the end of season 1 in Game of Thrones. Which one hit harder?
Oh, Ned Stark for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So coming from the Game of Thrones and then into this, I was just like, this guy dies. Who gives a fuck? But I do understand that that's the shots fired that starts the whole thing. I get that.
Wait.
You know what I'm saying? I get that.
I got a question for you. When did you start watching Game of Thrones?
Like, what you mean? When it first came out?
Yeah, I didn't. Me personally, I didn't. And I didn't know what I knew then. Now, all of that, I didn't know what I knew. So, I knew.
The force is in you, son.
No, but I knew Luke Harris was gonna die and how he died. I knew he was gonna die after once they showed Vagar and all that. I knew it was that time. I knew.
Bro, the most enjoyable part about the series was the involvement of the dragons. I don't care what you saying, dog. Everything else is flim flam flarm, bro. It doesn't matter. Seen it all through the Game of Thrones. The most enjoyable part about them bringing this shit back was the inclusion of them dragons and seeing them mugs interact. So they needed to include more than that in this series, dog.
And
all them jumps, all these motherfucking babies dying in childbirth was not necessary.
No, Mike.
No, I think that they're good.
Mike, we're into season 1 of season 4. We're in the season 1 of season 4. These dragons are about to get real. It's gonna, first of all, the House of the Dragon is gonna be better than Game of Thrones. That's not something I'm arguing. The House of the Dragon is gonna be better than Game of Thrones. You're about to see it in the season 2 at the beginning.
But right now, let me ask you this. Right now, it's the beginning of the race. Is House of Dragons the tortoise or the hare?
Tortoise.
So it's behind.
Damn, you ain't had no rebuttal for that.
Wait. What's the question?
Is the House of the Dragon the tortoise of the hare?
Oh, it's the hair.
No,
Bro,
it ain't the hair.
Hold on.
Right
bro.
now, the Game of Thrones
Wait,
is
I
ahead.
think you suffer. I think you're suffering from already knowing the outcome. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that's
If
all
you,
it is.
if
He
you
drank the
take that
Kool-Aid. That's what I'm saying.
take that aspect away and just look at it as a normal viewer. You know what I'm saying? House of the Dragons. In the title, it says dragon. You know what I'm saying? In Game of Thrones, we got to see Daenerys with the dragons being hatched. You know what I'm saying? They were little. She was talking to them as they were small, trying to get them to breathe fire. We saw a connection. We didn't get that in House of the Dragon when they're supposed to. Like I thought they were
real
going to
quick.
capitalize
That's a good
in
point. That's a good
when
point.
the old men and everything were like talking and taming the dragons and teaching the strong boys how to speak Valerian and they could still get to dragon even though they were only half Targaryen. I thought they're gonna capitalize on that a little
Elaborate,
bit
yeah.
more.
But
You know what I'm saying?
even to your point, Hyphen, the story of Daenerys in Game of Thrones with the dragon was what percentage would you get at to that storyline? That's a good 30-40%.
No, that's a 1/3. That's a 1/3.
That's 33% then.
Yeah, that's a
I
1/3.
think that's what I'm saying. We got the teaser in Game of Thrones already. You teased me through a whole season with these motherfuckers.
Bro, you're not
joyriding, dog.
listen, Mike, you're not listening. That shit.
I'm listening.
No,
but your argument isn't strong.
Listen, in season 2, I hear what he's saying. In season 2, we're about to get the whole thing.
That's telling me I gotta wait. That's wait till Christmas.
No,
that's
it's
wait till your birthday.
Hold on. But when you
that's your girl telling you wait till tomorrow, I got a headache.
Bro, but when
that shit is bad in the bed, bro.
And hold on. And all that. Hold on. All that sounds good.
Risen.
All that sounds
he
good.
has risen. You have responsibility, woman.
But all that sounds good until you get the season. And when you get the season, you gonna understand. Because there's way more than what you seeing on the surface.
Yeah, right. Right. When your girl finally give it to you, you gonna tear that thing in half.
And that's fine. And that's fine.
Right.
But I'm mad right now, though. I'm mad right now.
But I'm telling you, I'm mad right now.
I'm mad right now, though.
Right now.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's fine. You gonna get it once you get that second season. You gonna understand.
I can tell you a patient man, dog.
Okay, it's not a patient man that's understanding the story. When you get that, you gonna understand the whole thing.
Yeah, like I said, bro. I think
all that in season 2.
People who know what's gonna happen. I asked this question off air before. Like people who know what's gonna happen, do we have a different appreciation for the actual show because we already know what the outcome is gonna be, opposed to just watching it and watching it develop. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is. You're coming from a perspective already knowing what's gonna happen. They did a great job leading up to it. You know what I'm saying? And next season is going to get cracking. Opposed to the viewer who's watching it and they're just like, man, I was really looking forward to more dragons because
But Hyphen, you got to think we ain't even got to Nettles, and you know about Nettles, right?
Yeah.
So you know about Nettles. That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about what Mike is concerned about. That has nothing to do with me.
So you're more for the advanced viewer.
No, I'm more important about and concerned about. I know Mike is going to be way more influenced or intrigued once we get to the real story. That shit starts.
No, Mike season. Is intrigued. Mike loves the.
I'm not saying
bro,
that.
Let me explain. I am intrigued to the point from Game of Thrones alone. I got pictures in my phone of clothing, of goblets, of chalices, of motherfucking decanters, all kind of shit.
Did you get the Starbucks cup?
No, I didn't do that. But I'm just saying, from all the shit that they have in here as far as just costuming alone, bro, this shit has a capability of being some real dope shit. The CGI they done with the dragons and shit is better than motherfucking Jurassic Park. Are you kidding me?
It's gonna be the Yeezy wear. That's what
you know what I'm saying. This shit is cold, but I'm saying like the way they drug us through these 10 episodes was not that entertaining. Let's just be
Mike,
for real, bro.
I
I'm
understand
talking from
that.
an objective standpoint.
Yes,
I'm
but
talking from a motherfucker sitting down from his first time watching it and digging through these 10 episodes. He really has to dig. It's a grind. It's not easy.
hold on, but I don't got
I
nothing
see that.
for somebody that got to take the time to grind. I don't have nothing for that person. My thing is, you gonna get your shit at the end of the outcome. You gonna get your shit at the end of the outcome, because this shit that happened, this shit that came on season 1 was supposed to happen to set up everything that's about to happen. When
The
you get
setup was
Nettles,
beautiful. Yeah.
hold on. When you get Nettles, they gave you a glimpse. They gave you a glimpse when Damon was talking to that dragon was not his dragon. That dragon was not Cyrax.
When he was singing, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was not Cyrax.
I got that.
That was Viserys'.
He was gaining more power with the dragons. He was gaining more motherfuckers to his side.
That was not what he was doing. That was not what he was doing. That was a foresee to what's to come. And I can't speak. I don't want to speak on things that are to come that I know, but that was a foresee for what's to come. That has nothing to do with him speaking to one dragon. That has nothing to do with that. That's foreshadowing on what's to come with the series.
Yeah, he's a fucking dragon whisperer.
No, not just a dragon whisperer, but they're gonna need those people. They're gonna need those dragons in the future. They're gonna need that in the war to come. That's what was happening in that scene. But again, this season, the first season was to set up everything that's to come. So me as a personal favorite of the show, I understand what he was doing. But my thing is, after once season 2 starts, we won't have anything to talk about as far as excitement.
Right. Okay. Can we talk about season 1 without talking about season 2?
We can.
So as far as season 1, you're satisfied with the ending of season 1. You're satisfied.
First of all,
no, I'm satisfied. I might sound dissatisfied, but I'm satisfied just because I understand script writing, story building, and all that shit. I get it. I do understand. And I'm taking it from the perspective of a person watching this and never seen anything else. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, because I've seen other things, I just had that criticism.
Correct.
That was all. But I'm completely satisfied with how they did this story. If I sat down and watched this first, I would be, enamored. But having the experience of Game of Thrones, like my girl has watched Game of Thrones, I sat her down. We was watching this House of Dragons. She's not that into it. She hasn't made it to episode 5 yet. She says she's gonna come back when they start season 2. That's when she says she'll watch this. But that says a lot to me.
She been scarred.
If you get what I'm saying.
To the action. She want to get to the action. She ain't had enough.
This ain't moving. This is jumping weird. And then they switch cast after episode 5. They just switch cast, and it's like they switch only the young cast, but none of the old cast is switching. They all look the same. And it's like,
because old people just be looking the same. No, I think I appreciated that.
I became
it wasn't hard to follow
in my older years, nigga. I become a little more debonair.
That's what that was. It was more natural eating, more veganist and stuff, or they eat the meats and stuff fresh, but it wasn't a lot of processed food.
Well, the pigeon was whole. The pigeon wasn't eating, rats and shit at that time. The pigeon was eating good food at that time. So to kill and eat a pigeon at that time, you was doing good.
Ooh. Man, the childbirth. I did want to talk about that real quick. Maybe that was is that the sign of the time? Is that them bringing up trying to slip some shit in on childbirth and Roe v. Wade and all this other stuff? Do y'all think that was?
I think it was a show that.
Well, I think it says that the motherfucking Valerian need a black mead.
God damn.
Because black women at the hands of others experience death in childbirth much higher than any other race. And then when you give a black woman a doctor, those numbers decrease drastically. So I think that's all it was saying.
Well, they had black housemaids or not house. Was it?
Yeah, I'm talking about a maester, nigga.
Damn. Well,
they have man.
They needed a black maester in the Valerian household, nigga.
I know you better mind your tongue in the Valerian household because they chopping niggas' heads off and left the tongue.
He wasn't wrong
tongue.
though. My
He
man
can
wasn't
keep
wrong,
his
though.
tongue. No, but you don't speak on no man's household, no matter what's going on over there.
You know, I was like,
no,
fuck
hold
it, I'm
on.
dead.
You ain't over here paying no bills, nigga. You ain't changed the diaper. You ain't understood none of these niggas' problems over here in this household. You don't speak on shit. I'll slice your fucking neck, bro.
But Mike, that's kind of what he was saying, Mike. He was like, what you do with your house is whatever, but you're not gonna tell me this bastard's not sitting on my shit. This is my house over here. I mean, that is
right on that. I gotta tip the hat. You right on that.
Damon said, "Say what you gonna say, nigga."
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, nigga. Right?
He said, "No, say what you gonna. You gonna say it? Say it." I was like, "Man,
He can keep his tongue."
That motherfucker is real, bro.
No, Damon, I like his character on here, man. I like that character just because he ain't folding on shit. He don't falter on shit. He kind of rides his own line, and his line is what you kind of get from the Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? He kind of evolves the new era. Everybody in Game of Thrones kind of had that Damon mentality, in my opinion.
Now I know them strong boys can't fight. I know that. And they admit that they're a disgrace to their daddy. I know that fucking much. They be getting their asses scraped.
I know Daenerys is the reason for the home paternity kit, nigga.
What about I see a lot of Damon and Scarface.
Scarface the movie?
No, the motherfucker homeboy, One-Eye Willie. I forget his
name. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that character too, Vaemon.
But I see Vaemon as a little Damon.
He is.
No, yeah. I do.
I think it was at one point they were like Damon staring at him.
He's the second brother. The second brother who gets nothing.
I was just like, damn. I was like, I see him looking at himself like a younger version of himself.
Wants it more at the same time. Yeah. Definitely. Hell yeah. Vaemon and Damon is the same motherfucker. You for real.
And then you got Viserys and
the evolution of Vaemon, I think, was probably the best out of all of the young kids.
Hell yeah.
Is it bad?
Like he became a whole new person.
I was actually rooting for his ass. Like, damn.
But you know what character I think they kind of disrespected? We didn't really get the chance to know, but I think she's gonna play off to be like something very important in the end. Is sister. You know, the sister, the one that was like saying premonitions and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I wasn't thinking of her. I was thinking of the sister that already had the dragon, the Brielle or Brienne or something like that. I can't remember her. She was the Valerian.
Oh, you talking about Damon kids?
Yeah.
Well, I was speaking of Allison and Allison kids.
I know who you talking about. Yeah, I know you talking about. She was messing with the spider and shit.
Yeah. And then the last one, she said there's a beast under the boards or some shit.
Right.
I would like them.
It's something to her because they put the camera on her a lot and nothing's really going on, but she's saying jibber jabber, I guess, to the script necessarily but I think it'll fill in, I guess, in season two. In season 2 to help, Goldie's argument.
Hey, say what you gonna say. Say what you gotta say.
Oh shit.
He hit you with that mind your tongue.
Mind your tongue. Because Big Mike talking like he what's going on? Let me close the door.
I'm talking like, man, get to the business, man. I'm talking like we expected you to get to the business.
What the business of what? I told you what was what.
Of the divide of the house.
What do you know?
The way they ended the season, that could have been episode 6 easily.
How? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hold on. That's fine.
Doing these jumps, that could have been episode 6, 7 easily.
And I already told you, they got more series to get to. They're trying to rival Marvel. They're trying to rival DC. There's way more to get to than this.
See, you talking about some long play shit that don't matter to this particular series.
To you, don't matter to you. Don't matter to you.
No, we talking about this particular series.
So what do you want to know?
Don't matter to this particular series.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
We don't what we want to
Somebody-
know.
that's
Like
a
I
wrap.
said, this shit, the way it ended, this could have been episode 7, maybe even 8.
Mike,
just to
the
stretch
war-
it along.
the
We
war
had
started-
so many jumps that
The
we
more,
had a
the,
whole
hold on,
new
Mike,
pattern.
hold on. What do you know about Kragan Stark?
Nigga, who give a fuck about a Kragan Stark?
Because it's gonna matter in the future. It's gonna matter very soon. That's gonna matter very soon. So what do you know about Kragan Stark?
We see what Kragan Stark lead to with Ned Stark. His shit get chopped. We see all that shit in Game of Thrones, so it don't matter about.
If you want me to, Mike, if you want me to tell the story,
At the end of the day,
if you want me to tell the story.
At the end of the day, what I'm saying is,
tell
we
the
see
story.
his legacy played out in Game of Thrones.
It
So
does
it
not.
don't matter about.
Hold on.
That's what it is, man.
We
Mike,
don't see the end of the Targaryens. We don't see the end of the motherfucking the Valerians and shit. We don't see the end of that shit. You can be talking about more of that shit right now.
Mike, this is a completely different story. The Starks have something completely different to do with the story that we saw already. Something completely different. Kragan Stark is a big figure in this story, but you know nothing about Kragan Stark.
It's Craig Hodges to Michael Jordan in the 92.
And I love it. Because the thing that gets me the most is why did George R.R. Martin have these nigga names in his story? I don't know. That's what gets me the most.
Come
a
on,
nigga named Kragan. Why is it a nigga named Kragan?
Come on,
but it's a nigga named Kragan. Who matters?
I got a question.
Named Kragan, who matters?
I got a question for y'all.
LeBron is not the GOAT.
First question. Jesus, I don't even know how that even happens. The first question is black or green?
Black.
And
Black.
Okay, I'm black. And is Allison a hoe because she solicits her feet? She solicits her feet for information.
Hey, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Wow, bro.
That was crazy.
I was not expecting that shit.
Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild.
So Allison was the first OnlyFans? She was the first OnlyFans?
It was only feet back then.
I mean, I'm being honest. Like, is she considered a hoe? Like, was she fucking around on her husband?
Oh, don't do that, dog. Don't do that. Don't do that. She was the first OnlyFans, nigga. Them OnlyFans are
that nigga was like
hoes, dog.
And what was the information that he gave her, that there were spies and that her lady was one of the spies? That was the information he gave? For a nut in his hand and a stare at her feet?
Hey, he gonna come with this silly ass shit. Yeah, you know.
If anybody was gonna have a foot fetish, it should have been that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, limp toe motherfucker.
Hell yeah, that club foot he was dragging around.
How do you position that? Like, hey, I'm gonna give you information. Just let me check off to your feet.
Bro, me watching that shit, I was in here crying, laughing.
Hey, bro, that nigga killed his whole house.
Yeah, I know, right? He crazy.
The way she was turning away, like, oh my God, this motherfucker getting off on my feet.
Again.
Man, that shit had me crying, laughing.
I can't.
He looking at her like, come on, bitch, you know what it is before I tell you the rest of this shit. Take them fucking socks off, girl. Take them fucking socks off, those stocking ass socks.
Hey,
put them feet up, girl.
When he hit her with that look like, hey, you didn't got what you wanted.
Right. He said, it'll be done if it's thy will, my grace.
Yep.
And then she threw them feet up there. That nigga,
when they put that shit in my captions, they put that shit in my captions, Larry's breathing heavily. I said, oh, this nigga's wilding over here. He can't even control himself.
I was like, where are her kids? I was like, man, husband down there damn near dead.
Do you think her daddy know?
Hell yeah, he probably encourages it. That nigga damn near got off when he was like, I see you been doing long hours with the queen. And that nigga was like, oh, ain't no reason those long hours can't benefit you. That nigga head got up high, his chest came out and shit. That nigga got off. You know what I'm saying? The high towers are fucked up. The high tower, the auto high tower, he sent his daughter to the queen to go get fucked.
You know what's the most fucked up part about that? They come from the high septon.
Yeah. These the church motherfuckers.
Wait, the high towers are connected to the religion?
Yeah, to the 7.
High septon.
I didn't know that.
These the motherfuckers that was carving shit in people's foreheads.
I saw her switch up but I didn't understand that meant that they were a part of that actual.
That's where they're from. So, like Marjorie,
Yeah.
Marjorie in Game of Thrones and the Tyrells, like they come from the High Septon, like the High Septon. So that's where Allison comes from. That's why Allison is so. I'm
So
high.
strong on morals and shit like that.
Yeah, that's why she's like that.
She ain't too strong in them goddamn morals.
Oh yeah,
I mean, she said she's not touching him. He ain't touching her. Her feet just happen to be out his hands in his pants.
Sound good.
That's OnlyFans.
That's how she justified it. That's how she justified it, man. Like, and then like Rhaenyra, man. I don't like this whole series was kind of like this series. Like the incest was just in your face. It was like in your face. They wanted to
be.
Well, they wanted to show how normal it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and they did a great job at doing that.
Let me ask y'all this: if y'all had to give this a score 1 through 5 for the season, what would you give?
4.5.
I was gonna say a 4.
Yeah, I give it a 4.
A 4.5, bro. I mean, watch what's to come. Like that's what's crazy.
I give it a 4.
Remember, we're gonna talk about episode. We just talking about season 1, man. Season 2 ain't out yet.
Watch what's like that's killing me. Watch what's to come. This shit's about to get crazy.
Like I'm still gonna watch. I can be disappointed and still be anticipating.
Are we gonna have another cast change in season 2 or something?
No,
like,
there's no cast changes.
Joffrey got to be grown up.
They already explained that. When you haven't got to Nettles, you haven't got. It's so many people who haven't got to watch what's season 2. There's so much more. There's so much more. Like it's so much more we got to get to. So much. That's why
see hyphen. I get your ex argument now. Going through this, for real, get it. Go back to Pearl, please, and watch our Pearl episode. I get hyphen's ex argument.
No. Watch the X episode, then watch the Pearl episode.
Oh man, because you watch that Pearl episode, you ain't gonna watch X. Like I don't know. Like I'm a big fan. Like I enjoy. Like I wasn't mad at the cast changes. I think they did that shit with very much grace by telling a story.
That motherfucker, Daenerys grew strong in the face.
Well, yeah, bro. I mean, look what she's going through. When you deceiving a whole nation.
You could tell when they was on the scene in the beach and Damon was about to smash. He was like,
yeah, she was. That's because she was too old for him then. She wasn't 14 no more. She wasn't 14, 13 years old no more.
Milk of the poppy first. Let me hit this milk of the poppy.
This nigga Mel, boy. Hey man, opioids are real, guys. White America, guys, just kind of steer clear of the opioids. You guys have always had trouble with this, and you kind of look at this like the milk of the poppy and whatnot. Like guys, seek help. I just want to do my PSA for the palm color folk.
Damn.
Wiping them out.
God damn. Any other little tidbits y'all want to point out or take away before we close this shit out?
Man, close this shit out, man. Mike gonna see, bro. We ain't got look at this nigga, bro. I gotta cut my lights out. I'm this nigga, bro.
Hey, that nigga about to go to bed on your ass. Fucking man, the day is over.
Yeah, but I can't stand the goddamn truth.
Oh my god! Wait till he see this shit, bro. He gonna be like, yeah, I understood.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to season 2. I was let down by the
but see, Goldie, I'm giving my take on what's now, not what's to come, because I don't know. Like you already know the full story, so you understand what's unfolding and what you should get next. I'm looking forward to what I should get next because I feel old, not necessarily because this shit was dope. I'm looking forward to it because I'm a fan. I'm gonna watch it, of course, yeah. But
we told you it was a setup, though. We told you it was a setup,
but not necessarily. But yeah, it's a setup.
But you don't need to have a setup season, bro. You know what I'm saying? I understand a setup few shows and whatnot.
How? But Game of Thrones did the same. Hold on, Game of Thrones did the same thing.
But once again, I will say this once. I'm gonna say this one more time. At the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones, who died?
Ned.
At the end of House of Dragons, who died?
A peon.
Luke Harris. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hold on. The season. Hold on. Game of Thrones was also 8. Hold on. Game of Thrones was also 8 seasons. There was also 8 seasons.
No, I'm just talking about one season.
Seasons.
I think that's the problem, bro. I'm just talking about one season at a time.
8 seasons.
Talking about one season at a time.
He said, "Don't do that."
So
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, we get it. We got 8 seasons from one show because that's the main part of the show. We're getting 4 seasons of this. So yes,
I don't doubt that the upcoming seasons of House of Dragon are going to be good. I don't doubt that.
No, fire, not good. Fire.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I recant. I do not think that they're going to be dope. Unfire, Dragon Fire. You know what I'm saying? But
See what you did.
this
Fire.
this last one, this first season, I was a little let down.
Wait, but my thing is, what did y'all
as a
want
fan?
to
I was let down, but I did enjoy the build up.
Hold on, Hyphen. I got a question. Hyphen. I got a real question. Question. Did you know you knew what was gonna happen like I did? The way I think that we came to it.
Yeah.
So how could it be a disappointment when you knew that Luke Harris was gonna die by Aemon after that scene?
I just thought we would have got a little bit more
foreplay.
Even when it cut to Rhaenyra and she found out, I thought I would have got like a little bit more rage in her face, or her or seeing the dragon at least her flying on dragon back.
Hold on. I just want to say that because I had an issue with it, and my issue was different. My issue was what happened in the books. It was not an accident, and I don't like that they gave Aemon the out that it was an accident. I don't like that. It was not an accident in the books. He killed him on purpose.
To your point earlier about Daemon singing to the dragon, I think that was to symbolize and let us know for the what's to come that the dragons are going to be picking sides, because the dragon is not a slave. A dragon makes a choice, and that dragon said, "Nigga, you're not going to be breathing your fire on me and getting away with it." You know what I'm saying? So no matter who was on it. So I think that was foretelling. You know what I'm saying? I think that was more so foretelling.
I will say that I think, and when we get all of the seasons and in retrospect, we're gonna look at season 1 and say that it was the weakest one.
Yeah, but bro, I mean, goddamn, in Game of Thrones, how many? What was the weakest season in Game of Thrones?
Last one.
Last season. If not season 8, you can say season like I think it was like season 4 or 3 or something like that was weak as hell too.
Bro, first of all, Mike is talking about the season where Bran disappeared for a whole season. Imagine y'all, Bran disappeared for a whole season. He was not there. But he became.
So you can't say it was the weakest season?
No, I'm saying Bran. That might be the weakest season when Bran disappeared for a whole season.
That's what I'm saying. It was weak as hell.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't understand it. I was like, why did Bran disappear for a whole season?
Because they didn't know what to do with him.
And came back grown in the motherfucker.
Hey, came back a full.
I'm like, how does nigga handicap and tall?
Hey, he was tall as hell when he came back.
Like, this nigga tall as fuck, crawling around on that motherfucking floor.
Hey, he talking about hold me up.
Hey, and it was always like his arms was limp when they was picking up. Like, nigga, your legs don't work. Nigga, your arms good. Oh, they're picking him up, moving him around and shit. Like, that nigga arms got limp. That was a sad episode.
Hey, man, I think we good for the day.
Yeah. Nah, just a quick little. Well, hell, let's run it through the recap, recommendation, and rewatchability.
Okay.
I will be rewatching it. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
And I do recommend it for people who just want to watch I recommend it for people who've seen Game of Thrones, and for people who haven't seen Game of Thrones, I'll say wait for the second season so you can watch them in entirety. You can binge it out.
Okay. No, it's high rewatchability, definitely recommendation. This was I think it was a good building season. Look forward to what is to come. but I do get Mike's point as well. Like I said before, we're gonna look at when the whole series is complete. We're gonna look at this one as the weakest season, only because it had to fill in so many gaps and let you know what's coming. But still, it was still entertaining to me. So I enjoyed it. It was definitely good writing. They had some pretty decent fight scenes. You had a couple decapitations and your incest and shit and all of that good stuff that Game of Thrones is.
Tell me one good fight scene, man.
Shit, I like the one with the damn what is it, the Lizard King or something? What was the
Crab King.
The Crab King?
Come on, bro. That was
You ain't
was
like
not
that?
good. That was not good.
I enjoyed it. He
Hey,
came out head.
that was damn near the only one though through the whole season.
I'm gonna get
Think about what I'm saying. That was damn near the only fight shit through the whole season.
I'm gonna get out of real. There was no good fight. There was no good fight scenes. There
No,
was
the kids.
There
when
was
the kids fought.
The kids, he sliced that eye.
No. Period. That was weak.
Period.
That was short.
Weak.
He was beating their ass, man.
There was
He was
no
beating
good.
their
There
ass
were
by
no
himself.
good fight scenes in this season because there weren't supposed to be. This was a setup season. We knew that. That period.
I didn't know
It
that.
was a setup
I didn't
season.
know that.
Not everybody knew that.
I knew Aemon was gonna lose his fucking eye. I knew he
Yeah.
had to lose his eye to fight
To get the
Vagar.
dragon, right?
Yeah, I knew he had to do that. So there was no good fight scenes in this entire season. They are setting us up for what is about to be some real shit.
What about when he beat?
They're really about to go to war.
What you say, man?
The Knight of the Veil guy when he beat homeboy head in for letting him know, like, yeah, I know your secret.
No.
I didn't like that because it was like a scuffle and they showed everybody looking around and shit.
They just said,
we saw CCTV footage of that shit, man.
Oh shit. So what about you, man? Rewatchability recommendation recap.
Yeah, two shows gonna be ran back. I don't know how quick I'm gonna go back to watch it. Definitely, probably watching it. I gotta get on the motor.
I ain't understand a goddamn thing you said, man. It sounded like your ass floating underwater.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, that's better.
That's way better.
All right, so I'm just running all that back.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna watch it. I don't know at what point. Check it out. I see myself probably watching it maybe 2 times before the new season come out. I am a fan of Game of Thrones and you know what I'm saying, the whole series or whatever. But
hey man, fuck Jon Snow for the watch.
Yeah, this first season, it just I don't know. It was something about it. I can't exactly say what. In my mind, I would say maybe the directing is something I didn't like. But yeah, I recommend it for people. There's not much out here to watch at this point. It's entertaining nonetheless.
Succession. Y'all need to go check out Succession. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. Yeah, so it's recommendable. Has the rewatchability. It's going down.
That's what's up. Who want to close? Go ahead, Goldie.
Go ahead. All right, I'll go ahead. For the watch, Jon Snow a bitch ass nigga. I never fuck.
Damn.
I never fuck with Jon Snow. He's a bitch ass nigga.
That means you ain't got no fucking morals, bro. You ain't got
Goldie,
no morals, bro.
No, I understand where you at with the Goldie. I understand where you at.
All that's cool.
I ain't got no fucking morals.
Jon Snow could have stopped
or honor.
Jon Snow
I don't respect morals or honor.
Bro, Jon Snow could have stopped Daenerys from burning down the whole kingdom. All he had to do was say, "I'm gonna be with you."
He didn't want to fuck his aunt.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. He already did it.
But he didn't know. Now he know it's different.
He already did it. Jon Snow could have did that for the watch. Shout out to little homie that he had hung by the neck. That was my nigga. Jon Snow's a bitch ass nigga. Shout out to Ygritte. Mind you, Jon Snow is with Ygritte in real life. Mind you, by the way, I just want to say that Jon Snow is with Ygritte in real life. So he knows what was going on. He's with a wildling because the wildlings was where it was at. The next season, y'all gonna see it's a lot more going on to the story. I'm not worried about that. Hey, for the watch, man. Fuck Jon Snow. I hope he don't get the spinoff. Shout out to Blood Raven. Blood Raven got a lot more to do with this shit than y'all understand. But y'all will get the story.
The rap for real.
Stay dangerous. Hey, these niggas out here, killing niggas, man. Stay dangerous, man. All right.
Where the fuck is my Valerian Steel at, man?
Man, fuck that Valerian Steel. Trash. Get you some trash.
This nigga talking crazy on Jon Snow name.
Yo, I must be the only one
Burn some
on the
seed.
whole pod that feel this way because I'm not rewatching this first episode, this first season.
Nigga,
I'm not.
we know
I
you
will
not.
not. But I'm looking forward to the next season. So I guess I would recommend this for someone to watch so they could see the next season. I think I got it on the first go round where I don't necessarily want to rewatch it again. It wasn't really invigorating. Yeah, the senses weren't charged at all.
Damn.
Man, I'm sorry, dog. This is everything you live by and dream of. But I can't have it, dog. This shit was weak. And I will watch the next season and I will recommend it, like I said, but I probably won't rewatch it just because it wasn't that shit.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't that shit.
I can respect it though. I see it. I understand it. I can respect it.
I guess I could be the only objective motherfucker in the room. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Damn,
I gotta ask Mike a question.
Damn.
Mike, who's the best person in Game of Thrones? Who's the best character?
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
If it ain't the midget nigga, then it ain't nobody.
Tyrion?
It's not Arya Stark.
No,
she's not the
Arya
best
Stark
character.
is cool, but
She's the most developed.
she's not the best character. And it's the best character because he's able to give you who he is and actually play the game at the same time. He's not like
played the game. He played.
Wait. What did Arya do?
Needle.
What you mean? What did Arya do? Arya played. She tried to find her identity throughout the whole series.
She's a faceless man.
Damn.
Yeah, towards the end.
So she was.
Yeah, I would rather watch that spinoff than Jon Snow spinoff. So
She was transgender.
Bro, don't do that.
Stop it.
Disrespect.
Stop it.
Cause she had to.
I mean, she did play a little boy.
Arya-
You ain't never
Arya-
lied, bro.
Hey,
She did play a
that's
little
cool.
boy.
Arya
You
had,
ain't never lied.
Arya had to fuck a nigga to see how it felt just before she thought she was gonna die. I'm just want to understand. She's a real player.
But you said she was a faceless man. So
She's a real player. She was a real player.
Watch that nigga say he wanted to marry her and everything and laughed at his ass.
y'all, wow.
Her Daenerys.
Oh man. Well, y'all can watch some shit over at TruVuePodcast.com where you can like, subscribe, share, and comment to help us defeat that all-powerful algorithm trying to hold a black pod down. And thank you for riding with us on YouTube. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, smash the thumbs up, and make sure you leave a comment because we do respond, goddammit. Help us get that engagement up. Yeah, man. TruVue Podcast. Y'all already know what it is.
Man, and y'all already know. Y'all can go on right over to www.VinciVibes.com, where the vibes are always Vinci, man. You can find Vinci Vibes on Instagram, Facebook, and the website I just shouted out. That is VINTYVIBEZ. Going to tap in for all your home decor ideas and needs.
Hey, and while you got that mobile device out, go ahead and go to the Great Conversation Podcast, where we indulge in healthy dialogue about topics that are important in today's society and culture. Go ahead and look up the Great Conversation Podcast anywhere that you're listening to your podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to me over on the LFP network over there on YouTube. Okay, that's LFP, Looking Forward Productions Network, bringing entertainment and information to you.
Oh, cheesy face ass nigga. Goldie, you got anything going you want to shout out, bro?
Man, stay dangerous. Fuck Jon Snow.
God damn it.
I knew he. I tried to cut him off before he said this shit again.
Motherfucker, man.
MJ, anything for the people? No, I was gonna say I think the average of everybody scored is we ended up giving this a 4, but y'all already know we fucks with it anyway. So yeah, man.
Fuck Jon Snow.
This nigga with that,
you're starting to piss me off.
What we always say.
Owe me back like you owe your tax.
God damn it.
What was that? LL?
No, that was the old Nas shit.
I know, nigga. Go watch some shit.
That's how I feel about House of Dragons, though. You owe me back.
TruVue Podcast.
A bunch of different views.
The boys keep it real, man. I really like listening to them, man. They funny. Yeah.
Son.
They really speak their truth. What the hell was that?
You're